And Rob, you'll recall that when we made our preseason picks,
yes,
my pick for MVP this year, my prediction was Tom Brady.
Not Patrick Mahomes, not Jordan-esque.
Nope. It was Tom Brady. I thought Brady'd have an MVP year.
Okay.
And Jordan didn't win it every year. In fact, he only won 5.
No, I'm just asking.
So you don't win it every year, even if you're Jordan-esque. But Tom Brady, Rob, right now is the front runner for the MVP. Rob G, is that according to Fox Bet?
And according to BetMGM, so whoever you like, he is the favorite.
So he is the favorite. And Josh Allen's number 2, right?
As of last
and Aaron Rodgers number 3, I think. But Rob, look, it's an odd year. We've talked about it, how all the quarterbacks, and let's face it, it is a quarterback award. All of them have had some ups and downs, obviously some more than others.
Stinkers.
Yeah, they've all had a couple games here and there, whether it's Rodgers, the first game of the season. And even, Rodgers missing a game because of COVID because he wasn't vaccinated. We usually would give him a pass, but he lied about it. So I'm not going to necessarily give him a pass
people.
on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't hold it against him. If it's close, just the fact that he had to miss a game when he maybe, wouldn't have had to before, I think some people might hold that against him. But in general, Rob, I wouldn't hold any of the shenanigans off the field against Aaron Rodgers if I had an MVP vote. But Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, whoever else you want to throw in there. Am I missing somebody for the MVP race? They've all had their ups and downs. Dak Prescott, Kyler
had
Murray's
a couple of stinkers of late.
Kyler's missed 3 games. I think
that hurts him.
That keeps him out of it, right?
That keeps him out.
Yeah,
unless he Dak has hurt himself the last couple of weeks, Chris. I think he's out. Patrick Mahomes,
he's hurt himself.
Patrick is out with back-to-back no touchdown games.
I wouldn't say he's totally out.
I think he's out.
I wouldn't say he's totally out.
Really?
Stafford, yeah, because the game before that he had 5 touchdowns.
I think Stafford
game before the last 2.
Stafford is hanging by a string unless he does some extraordinary stuff.
3 games, Rob, 3 straight games with pick sixes, and he's still in it. I think he's still in it, but I would say if he's in it, how can Mahomes not be in it?
Only because Mahomes has done stuff that I just can't see how someone, Chris, is going to look at his body of work and think he had an MVP season. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, and Rob, and that is why, and I don't think he's close to winning it. I'm just saying he'd be, I don't know, 5th, 6th, something like that.
Okay, all right.
But yeah. But I think Brady, and really by the standard you said, an MVP season. Right now, and there's still a good amount of football, 5 games left to be played. But right now, I think it's Brady. I really do. That's not because I picked him as my preseason pick, but I think it has to be Brady right now. He's leading the league in yards per game at 314 plus per game. One of only 2 quarterbacks over 300 yards a game. He's leading the league in touchdown passes with 34. So he's on pace to hit almost 50. He's had 6, count them, 6 games this season with 4 or more touchdowns. That's insane. No other quarterback has more than 2 such games. 6 with 4 more. Aaron Rodgers, and I think Aaron Rodgers is second. And I think that's a come up for him because, I think he had to climb. Like, I think at one time Lamar was up there. Dak was up there. Josh Allen was up there. And Rodgers was just steadily producing, winning games, not really making mistakes. And I think he's climbed to second, but he's only had 2 games with 4 or more touchdowns. And so I think, Rob, no matter how you slice it, Tom Brady, it's just a clinic when you watch them. The way it looks so easy. He's got a ton of receivers and he's spreading the ball. Gronk, Evans, Godwin, when AB was playing him, the backfield. I mean, it's just he's just throwing the ball very well, and I don't think it's any doubt he's the MVP right now.
Did you hear that AB that they said they might release him? Did you see that?
Yeah, well, because according to Peter King, Rob, he may have fooled the organization for like 4 months.
Not
4 months, but several months.
But that's what people don't understand when they kept saying the difference between him and Rodgers. Like the organization got bamboozled. Like, seriously.
Right. And that look, for Rodgers to lie to the media, you don't like it, but that's not
lie to his
anything
teammates.
Lying to the team. And I thought, Rob, I've bounced back and forth as we found out more information. At first, I thought he should have been suspended all year when I thought he fooled his teammates. Then I thought, it looks like the first day or two, couple days he was there, he decided not to go ahead with the fake vax
But
card.
now,
And now it seems like he did go ahead with it for a while, weeks, if not months.
That's why he took the suspension, Chris, with no fight and pushback. You know what I mean?
You know what I think is going to be interesting, Rob? I think that because remember, Tampa Bay, he's suspended for 3 games. Tampa Bay has said we'll make a decision once he's eligible to play. So after these 3 games. I think, honestly, Rob, they're waiting to see how they look without him.
Right. If they play well and they're on the issues, they might just go like,
if they're looking good, I think they're going to cut him.
That's a piece. All right, Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady is having a very good season. I think his numbers are fugazi. I do not believe he's the leading candidate for MVP because
who is
I would still take Aaron Rodgers' body of work and his type of wins have been bigger than Tom Brady. And let me just go through it. Tom Brady's numbers against teams over 500. 13 touchdowns, 5 picks. And in one of those games, Miami had a performance when he had 5 touchdowns and no picks. So his numbers look good in that stretch. But Tom Brady's also, Chris, on pace to be only the second player in NFL history to throw the ball over 700 times. So
and that's a negative?
Well, it's just like, of course his numbers are going to be balloon.
No, not of course.
Yes.
No, the more you throw, the more chance there are to make mistakes.
Well, he also, and speaking of that, he has 10 interceptions, 12 turnovers, which ranks in the bottom third of the NFL for quarterbacks with the turnovers. So it's not like he's been flawless. He has turned the ball over 12 times. That's in the bottom third. That's a big negative. The numbers he's put up.
Big negative.
Well, can I make my case? You made yours. Can I make mine? Then here's the other part. He's had 2 games against the Falcons which have ballooned his numbers. This is why he's fugazi. Their defense is so bad. They're in the basement in the NFC South, right? They're giving up almost 28 points a game, second most in the NFL, while also giving the 8th most yards, Chris, per game at almost 370 a game. It's part of the reason why Brady.
Atlanta?
Yeah, why Brady has 644 yards and 9 touchdowns in 2 games against Atlanta. So his numbers are astronomical because he's playing against really bad teams, including the Falcons and their defense. Now, when I look back and I look at Aaron Rodgers' season, you're right. It's not the year he had last year. But I look at going to Arizona without your top three receivers, winning a big game in that situation. 37 seconds left on the road against San Francisco. I just see there's a couple other situations where I look at and say he's put together a really consistent year. And I think since the first 2 turnovers, right, interceptions, does he only have 4 all year? I don't have his numbers in front of me. I think he only has 4.
4 interceptions.
Right? So they're not eye-popping, but I think he's played against better teams, better situations. They played the Rams, right? They did a job on the Rams. That's supposedly one of the teams in the NFC that's vying for the Super Bowl, and they were able to beat them pretty handily, and he played well against the Rams. So I look at games like that, and I say his body of work is against better teams, better competition than Brady. I'm not poo-pooing all of Brady's season. But Rodgers, right, has basically beat, remember the Bengals game? That was the other game, Chris, where his kicker missed 3 kicks. He had to drive his team
And so
down.
did Cincinnati's kicker.
No, but he had to keep driving them down to get themselves a chance to win that game. When they're normally, Crosby's normally money, not this year. Not this year. He's had a bad year. But they were able to beat the Bengals there in that situation, and Rodgers again was clutch in order to move the team down to win. So I just think he's had bigger games, and that game was on the road, right? Wasn't that in Cincinnati? That was another road game. They have done, and Rob G, can you look it up real quick? What's their record on the road? Because now they got all these home games coming up at the end of their schedule. They're like, I think they've only lost 1 road game.
You play who's in front of you. I'm not going to punish Tom Brady or anybody else for their schedule. He didn't make the schedule.
No,
All
but
right,
Chris,
and
piling up numbers against bad teams, though.
Okay,
is all I'm saying.
let's analyze that because Aaron Rodgers has 2 games this year with 4 more touchdowns. Guess who those games are against? Detroit. I don't even have to say anything, but
Detroit's on a hot streak. They just won.
Yeah, right. And Minnesota.
Minnesota.
All right, those teams are combined, Rob, 5-17-1. So don't give me all this. Oh, he's been lighting it up against great teams.
Wait a minute.
2 games with 4 more touchdowns.
But wait a minute.
And
The Falcons have the
weaklings.
second. They're giving up the second. They're the second
Brady
worst
it
defense.
ain't just about the Falcons.
But it's a big
Brady
part
threw
of it.
4
That's why his numbers are swollen.
He threw for 4 touchdowns and 375 yards against New Orleans. That's a defense for you.
Oh, they got a winning record?
He threw for 4 touchdowns against Chicago. That's a defense for you.
All these teams have losing records, Chris.
He threw for 5 touchdowns against Miami, winners of 5 straight.
No, they had a losing
defense
record.
for you.
No, they were bad back then.
Those are teams that are winning. Dallas, he threw for 4 touchdowns and 379 yards.
In week 1 or 2? Stop it.
That's your argument?
They were bad. The Cowboys started the season bad.
They were not bad.
They were
actually
bad.
playing better in the beginning of the year than they are now.
How did he do against Matthew Stafford and when they came to play the Rams?
Matthew Stafford and the Rams, he threw for 432 yards.
Did they win that game?
No, they lost. We had 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions.
Okay,
but it's a team sport, I'm told.
And Miami was in the midst of a 7-game.
They got the same record. They're both 9-3.
Miami was in the midst of a 7-game losing streak when Brady ate them up.
They're in the midst of a 5-game winning streak.
They were bad. They were bad
season,
back
Rob.
then. Come on, Chris.
You know what's fugazi is your argument.
No, it ain't.
You going to when they played the team and all this and that. What the
how many teams?
Was.
How many games?
Come on.
How many teams has he beaten over 500, Chris? Hello.
He's 9-3.
Hello.
I don't think they've played many teams over 500.
No, if you remember, everybody said they were going to go undefeated because they had a weak schedule.
I didn't say that.
You don't remember that?
Look, Rob. Okay, let's finish. He beat Dallas. They beat New England. I think Miami 5-7. They beat the Colts, who are 500 right now. So, you beat who's on the schedule. They're both 9-3. And I think, look, Rodgers having a nice season, but to pick apart Brady's numbers like that is just, come on, man. He's got 11 more touchdowns.
I'd love to hear what
than Aaron
people got to say
Rodgers.
on this because I think they're going to be with me.